Hello, gamers of the internet. I'm showing some Dark Souls 3. Gonna be showing off the most fun I've ever had with, I think, the best builds you could possibly play in this game. You don't even need to upgrade any weapons. You can have a +0 the whole time and it's super viable. I just think it's a lot of fun, so let's get into it. This build essentially revolves around using mist spells to kill opponents. So we're gonna need to choose a name for our character. It's gotta be something that fits within that vibe, you know, like the mad chemist, you know, kind of gas grenade type character. So I'm thinking a name like the final, so the most important thing to pick is the class, of course. I had some trouble choosing between Pyromancer and Sorcerer. You could go either or. I decided to go with the Sorcerer because I'm a coward, but Pyromancer is, I think, more thematic overall, so go with whichever one you want. For the gifts, I mean, just pick whatever you want. I couldn't choose between the coin or the dollars. I ended up going for dollars in the end, which is a decision I would later regret. With all the character stuff done, we can begin the journey. Now, I know what you're thinking. Marcus, why does this footage look like ass? Well, that's because I'm a total fucking moron and I forgot to set my bitrate to a high number when I started to record. Don't worry, I'll fix it very soon. Since we don't start out with access to any chemical warfare, we're gonna have to use our imaginations. Use your boomstick for a while and just pretend it's superheated gas or something. Gundyr is kind of a joke to kill, so let's move on. Leveling up. Okay, this is very important. I know it's tempting to lever your vigor or stamina or some stat that's actually useful, but trust me, put everything into intelligence. We're gonna need 30 int pretty darn quickly, and especially if you're skipping killing all the generic trash mobs in the level, you're gonna need to put everything into int without any exceptions. In fact, while we're on the subject of character stuff, I should mention that I'm choosing to play as a female character this time, because believe it or not, I'm actually really good at this game, and I figured only earning 70% as many souls as a male character would be a sufficient handicap. Make sure you pick up the Ring of the Mad Dollar, my favorite ring in the whole game. Now, I'm going outside my comfort zone with this run, because I'm going through every level at Mach 10. I'm the kind of gamer who likes to kill every enemy and pick up every item on every single playthrough, so this is an interesting change for me. It also means we'll be earning a lot less dollar than we should be, so again, level up intelligence, we need it soon. I get really lucky here with the Soldier's Helmet drop. This is one of my favorite helmets in the game, so I'm glad to have gotten it now. This is also a mandatory piece of fashion for this run, so make sure you farm for it and equip it. One time I sat here farming for like an hour and didn't get it. It was really upsetting, but this time I got lucky. I sure hope my farming will continue to be lucky moving forward. So, rather embarrassingly, I ran out of magic while fighting Vort. If I was less of a massive imbecile, I probably would have remembered to pack more Capri Suns for my little one-man soccer team. Unfortunately, this match ended the same way my games did in my youth, with my team beating the other team with sticks. Fun fact, if you span through Yoel's dialogue, he teleports to Firelink, but the sound of his footsteps will still play. I'm moving through like normal, gonna grab Lorda's bone for Grey Rat, and what's this? Huh. They're hiding under floorboards. I'm pretty much going to ignore the entirety of the Undead Settlement for now, but I will be returning at a later time to clear it out a bit more thoroughly. However, I do think it's important to get the giant special stick, so I'm gonna make a quick stop for that. Now, make it to the Road of Sacrifices. This will be my prison for the next hour of my life. You see, the Road of Sacrifices is the location of our first major weapon for this run, the Storyteller's Staff. And here is why not taking the golden coins was such a bad idea. I spent half an hour killing these bird bastards with no drop. In retrospect, half an hour isn't actually very long, but it sure felt like an eternity. After giving up with minimal effort, I continued to progress through the game like normal. That meant recruiting the most important NPC of the run, Mr. Wizard. More importantly though, we need this build's main source of damage, Pestilent Mist. It's easy enough to get. We just have to go through Shrek's Wonderland first. After getting any scroll, Professor Snape will sell us the mobile gas chamber. The golden scroll is easy enough to grab by following the right side of the swamp upon entering. Pestilent Mist is actually extremely powerful. I can only assume this was an oversight made by Miyazaki when he neutered every spell in the game. It deals damage based on the enemy's maximum health, so an enemy with a huge health pool will absolutely melt. This will be very apparent in the late game. If you're not at 30 yet, you can farm or just go ahead and sell some items, even Titanite. Seriously, not only is this run completable with a level 0 weapon, but it's also a viable way to play, trust me. With that out of the way, now that we have easy access to tear gas, we can violate the Geneva Convention almost as quickly as American law enforcement. The first delinquent we need to arrest is this funny little guy in a big hat. He's holding contraband in the form of the Crystal Sage's Rapier, a sword that boosts item discovery, making it an excellent farming tool. Not only is this criminal doing his own farming instead of buying food from billionaires at Walmart, but he's also organizing a union of similarly dressed workers. Make sure to kill them before they start to believe in myths like livable wages. If we really want to maximize our potential growth, we're gonna have to fuck up nature for profit. Lucky for us, the Cursor on a Greatwood is incredibly easy to kill with Pestilent Mist. It won't even enter phase 2 if all we do is choke it with gas. There's a few bosses like this who interact strangely with Pestilent Mist, so I'll make sure to call them out as they come up. With the Transposing Kiln and the Crystal Sage's Soul, I picked up the Lucky Rapier and got back to farming. Now that my item discovery was pretty high, it didn't take very long to get my hands on the Wizard Stick. Okay, I should explain why this weapon is so powerful. So, the Storyteller staff has a weapon art that emits a spray of poison, similar to the Poison Mist spell. You might be thinking, why not just use the spell? Why bother spending an eternity of your life playing Stardew Valley to get your hands on the staff? The reason is because the damage that this poison applies is significantly higher than the damage the regular poison spell applies. This, combined with Pestilent Mist, means that it's actually pretty safe and easy to kill every enemy in the game. It's a little slower than usual against weak enemies, but against enemies with a lot of health, it's actually surprisingly fast. Even though we've only killed 4 bosses, we basically have all of our endgame equipment now. There's one more vital piece further ahead, but apart from that, we're chillin'. The next major obstacle we have to conquer is the Abyss Watcher fight. Unfortunately, the Watchers are immune to poison, so this fight will be done fully with P-Mist. This took me several attempts, but it wasn't too bad. The whole fight is pretty much kiting the Watchers around your gas clouds. Lucky for us, they aren't intelligent enough to avoid choking to death. I just spedrun past the entire catacombs. Right now, I only have one thing on my mind. More poison! Instead of fighting Wolnir, break the bridge and cheese this demon. It might take a few casts, but he is poisonable. Also, killing him isn't really important, but I did anyway. I probably shouldn't have. He doesn't even have very much money. This was a waste of time. I tried to enter the demon ruins, but apparently God had other plans for me. What's wrong with the floors in my game? Anyway, after breaking and entering the demon pimp house, come to this hallway, get past the world's fattest brat, jump in this hole, and loot this corpse. If you've played Minecraft before, you know the lava can be dangerous. So make sure to put on some fire-resistant armor before taking the spicy swim. And the reward for being so daring? Toxic Mist. We can apply both poison and toxic at the same time. Just go ahead and equip Toxic Mist, and then become sad because you didn't level your faith at all. I guess we need to get some quick cash. I decided to go back to the tutorial to kill the Crystal Cuck, then I went to steal money from the elderly. Don't worry, he was also rich, and very weak to poison. Epic win. This increase of dollar gave me the 15 faith I needed, and this increase of faith gave me the insight to realize I should probably repent for my sins. So I went to the Cathedral of the Deep next. At this point, I decided I should probably try to get some NPC quests moving in the right direction. First up was the Rat. I don't know if I'm going to need his services later, but rats are funny little guys, so he's worth saving on that alone. Then I helped Z-Word kill the old Demon King's trust fund baby to move his quest along. After that quick detour, I came back to Sunday school. There's actually one more mist spell that's very easy to get from here. Talk to Santa so he can isekai you up to the North Pole. It's pretty easy to get to our destination. Just make your way to the big bridge and turn it into a ladder. On your way to the bottom, try to remember that you are in fact not playing Elden Ring, and falling will actually deal damage and lead to your untimely death. After finally making it to the bottom, run past the Krusty Krab and get ready to have mortal combat with a tree. If that seems like too much work, you can just ignore the fight and pick up the spell from the last guy who tussled with a redwood. And now the build is fully complete. We have access to all mist spells, which makes us the ultimate mad chemist. I hope you enjoyed this setup guide to the most fun build in Dark Souls 3. Maybe one day I'll record and finish the playthrough, but for now this is it. Check out my other videos. In this one I celebrate Elden Ring's first birthday. Thanks for watching.